The Deer Farming Channel is brought to you by Rafter P Construction. Stick around to learn more about Rafter P's design build process and, of course, the biggest deer in the world. Howdy everybody, I'm Keith Warren, and this week Deer and Wildlife Stories comes to you from MVP Whitetails just outside of Kaufman, Texas. The white-tailed deer is America's favorite big game animal, and white-tailed deer farming is the fastest growing segment in the agriculture industry. Our program's mission is to dive into the world of deer farming and inform you of how deer farmers all over the country are now using rapidly developing science-based research on their captive deer herds to solve the chronic wasting disease issue through selective breeding. Not only is this new science working, but it's obvious that captive deer breeding is the only way to help save America's deer herds from CWD, which will help improve overall herd health and at the same time can produce more quality trophy-sized animals for the general public. Join me as we discover how whitetail genetics, deer auctions, animal husbandry, and so much more drive the modern-day deer farming industry. My name is Keith Warren, and this is Deer and Wildlife Stories. So from the moment that you drive into MVP Whitetails, you're going to be impressed. And you know, it's hard not to be impressed, from the lake that is teeming full of fish and to the Webster home over there on one side, and then the breeding facility on the other side. And then of course you got the deer pens, and you're going to be impressed with everything that you see. Then all of a sudden you're going to walk up there and you're going to shake Jade Webster's hand. And that's when you're going to really be impressed. When you take a look at Jade, I mean, Jade, first off, let's look at his family, okay? His oldest son is named Jalen, okay? I've watched Jalen grow up in the deer industry. He was learned from his father. He's learned so much from his father that many times I think he knows pedigrees better than his father. And then you've got Jet. Jet is a senior in high school. Jet is a champion wrestler, but he loves the outdoors and loves the life that he has living on the ranch here. And then his little sister, Journey. Who could not just love Journey? I mean, look at her, 8 years old, and she's grown up with the white-tailed deer.
I just love the fawns. I just like to see them. They make a smile on my face every time I see them.
I've seen her since she's this big. I've seen her bottle feeding. I've seen her out here fishing. She hunts. She loves the outdoors. All this love, all this passion among this family goes all back to Jade Webster and his wife, and they live to be outdoors.
My name is Jade Webster. We're here at MVP Whitetails in Kaufman, Texas. We're a whitetail breeding and hunting operation. We have 220 acres here and 50 acres of deer pens also. Yeah, we're super fortunate. When we bought this property, we had a vision of building our dream home, and it's all come together with a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And yeah, there's a lot of work involved at the ranch, and I'm super thankful that the family is involved as they are. If they weren't as involved in us getting to do it together like we get to, I probably wouldn't do it because I wouldn't want to be away from them as much as I'd have to be. Life here on the ranch is awesome. We have a bow range, we have a bass fishing lake, we have a catfish lake, we have a pasture with deer, we have deer. I mean, we have little baby kittens running around. I mean, we're always busy and just getting to do fun stuff around here.
So I had the opportunity to actually get with Jet, Jade's youngest son, and talk to him about what he really enjoys about the deer farming lifestyle. So tell me, what is it about living out here in the country, I guess, that you like the most?
I think I'd have to say living in the country I like the most would be being able to do the things I love with my family, ranging from going in the pens, throwing peanuts at the monster bucks that we grow here, fishing, hunting.
Let me ask you this, okay, out of all the deer that y'all have raised, what's your favorite one ever?
It's got to be Major League, no doubt.
And you know, Major League, I think, is really what wound up putting MVP on the map, okay? When you start taking a look at it historically, MVP Whitetails, you may be wondering what MVP stands for. It's most valuable pedigrees. He got into it the right way, and the first big deer he produced was Major League, and that's when everybody in the industry, everybody, said, whoa, who is that guy? And so now you take a look at this. I mean, last year, I'm telling you, I don't know of another breeder can ever say this, okay? But Jade Webster at MVP Whitetails and his family grew 24 breeder bucks for our industry. It blows my mind. I know you get to see this every day.
Yes, sir.
How genetics have played an important role, and they are most valuable pedigrees. All right, so you're going to graduate soon. What do you want to do?
I plan on coming out here and working side by side with my family, continuing our family business at MVP Whitetails.
I think that's cool. And so the one thing, I don't care what kind of business you're in, customer service is probably as important as the product that you sell. Customer service is something that MVP Whitetails has made a name for itself. Ask anybody who has ever dealt with your family, and they will tell you the same thing.
You know, my dad always taught me to treat people how you would like to be treated, and that's a value at MVP Whitetails that we hold dearly.
Because customer service is extremely important, and they do that here at MVP Whitetails. Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you by MVP Whitetails, Dr. Ray Favero's Whitetail Genetics, UVC Power Sports Tractors and Outdoors, and Rafter P Construction. For more videos on deer farming, check out the Deer Farming channel on YouTube and Facebook. So not only does Jade have a top-class breeding facility, but he also has a hunting preserve with the world's best genetics.
The hunting operation is something I'm really passionate about. Yeah, hunting as a family is just a huge part of who we are and what we are. I just love the memories, getting away, getting out in the woods, you know, building campfires, sitting in a cold deer stand with my kids, and when we do have the opportunity to harvest an animal, the excitement that they feel, and us all high-fiving and getting excited about it and sharing that experience together is really what I live for. About 4 years ago, some customers had been hitting us up wanting to hunt, and we opened it up, decided to lightly hunt it, and we had so much fun. These monster bucks, beautiful deer coming through, and the joy that they got when they harvested these animals, and we kind of started growing the business slowly, and it's become a full-blown hunting operation. We sold 30 hunts last year, and we have 50 hunts on the books for this year. And it was so busy and the demand was so high, we just bought a new ranch south of Canton, Texas, 30 minutes from this ranch, gate to gate, and we just high fenced it, and we're gonna start hunting out there also. And we're gonna expand it to some different species. We're gonna do whitetails, obviously. We're gonna do axis deer. We're gonna have a few rams. We're gonna have stag, and that's gonna be the focus on that ranch. Yeah, one thing that we're super passionate about in our breeding operation is helping people stock their ranches with our genetics, and that's something we started doing this 3 to 4 years ago, and we're seeing pictures of these customers, the bucks they're growing and how much fun they're having, and some animals they've actually harvested from our genetics. And I thoroughly enjoy sitting down with the client and saying, what size ranch do you have? What are your goals? Typical deer, big deer, diversified deer, and we just truly come up with a 3 to 5 year management plan to them so they can get the results that they want for their families also. Yeah, just give us a call on the numbers below. Call Jalen or myself and we'll set up a farm tour, and we'd love to talk deer and what you're wanting to do for your ranch, and we'll design a custom plan for you.
Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you by Big Time Whitetails and Exotics, LE Fence, the Texas Deer Association, UVC Power Sports Tractors and Outdoors, and New Dart. Deer and Wildlife Stories will be right back. Closed captioning is brought to you by Advanced Deer Genetics. So Jade's oldest son is named Jalen. He took me to a pen where one of the most famous does in the whole deer industry is living. So one of the most valuable and popular does in the entire industry, and the reason why is because her production is right there, and her name is MVP Sasha.
She's a 11-year-old doe, and she is G-hammer over Tasha. She was one of the first big time does we ever bought when we first got into the deer business, and we couldn't have been any happier with that purchase of her.
And talk about the production out of her.
The production the industry has seen out of Sasha is insane. I mean, you name bucks like Wild Card, Upper Deck,
Back in Black.
Back in Black, Are You Ready? I mean, industry great deer.
But it's impossible to grow big bucks unless you've got big does below them. Okay, tell them what MVP stands for.
Most valuable pedigrees.
And tell them how important that is to y'all and why.
Pedigree is really important to us because if you have a buck with no pedigree, it's just a good buck. But a buck with the look and the pedigree, it's a superb buck.
And I want to point out too that y'all sell bred does to people that will take these genetics right here and introduce them to pastures all over the state. And they do this for everybody. If you want to put the best genetics in there, contact Jalen or contact Jade, and these does, they'll bring them to you bred. Okay, they've got genetics like these bucks that we're showing you because they've got these anchor does. And all of a sudden, guess what happens? In about 2 or 3 years, you're gonna realize that, holy smokes, you're living a dream, because the whitetail deer, it's all about the genetics. So if you want more information about MVP Whitetails, go online, check out their website, give them a call. But right now, we're gonna take a look at some special bucks. All right, so we're gonna look at some bucks now, and that guy right there, let me start out. He's gotta be cleanup, right?
Yes, sir, that's cleanup.
All right, so he's 4 years old. We have filmed him in the past, and he's living up to his name. He's staying clean. I think that's awesome. A lot of times what'll happen is a buck will all of a sudden start pushing some extras, but he has kept it clean. I mean,
sir.
He's beautiful. Who else we got in here?
So right over there, we got Wild Card.
Holy smokes, look at the uptines on him. The frame is incredible.
Yes, sir.
I mean, what do you think? I mean, the 2s and the 3s, look how long they are. All right, tell me a pedigree on him.
It's Blackjack, Big Sir, Triple Crown over MVP Sasha.
Going back to Sasha right here.
Going back to Sasha.
Take a look at him. Tell me Sasha didn't get it done. I mean, he is unbelievable. How wide do you think he is?
Man, I bet you he's at least 35.
Do you have any partners on him?
Yes, sir. High White and Heavy Whitetails
Really?
partnered with us on him. We couldn't be happier.
Yeah, they couldn't be happier either. I guarantee you, he is awesome. What about that deer right there?
That is a Major League 3-year-old.
That is a major deer right there. That's a major league son.
Yes, sir.
Take a look at him. Now, the look is absolutely incredible. His dad, Major League, is actually who put MVP Whitetails on the map. Okay, years ago, y'all studied the whitetails and you studied his genetics, and all of a sudden you came out with Major League, and his production is getting it done.
Yeah.
And people all over the industry are seeing production out of Major League. I mean, it's crazy. He is beautiful. Last year he was a little bit cleaner, but this year he just got super sized. All right, so just to show you that Major League production is not a fluke. Okay, that 3-year-old's out of Major League, but tell them about that 2-year-old right there.
So that's a Major League 2-year-old who we are super happy with. I mean, you look at him, he looks almost just like Major League.
Yeah, yeah. So what is his name?
We need to come up with a name for him.
Oh, come on.
We're gonna name him real soon, I promise you.
Hey, that's a giant deer, but what about that guy right there?
So that's a monstrous Blackjack son we have. It goes back to Crown Jewel on the bottom, which is Supreme's dam as well.
Oh my gosh, how wide? He's gotta be 40 inches.
I bet you he's every bit of 40 inches, Keith.
He's huge. All right, so let's talk about the anchor doe on that. Jade Webster bought the anchor doe when it was a fawn for $140,000. And you may be thinking, that's crazy. What a heck of a deal that is, because the amount of deer that she has produced, that entire line, I mean, it is worth a ton of money. So $140,000 for a little doe fawn, if it's the right doe fawn, it's worth the money. I just can't believe that deer, and I can't believe the production out of all these does y'all are getting. All right, so we've shown you some really big deer, but there's one. He got a haircut, man. I mean, his name is Iceman. I know y'all got pictures and video of him before you cut him off, but tell a little bit about Iceman and why you had to cut him off.
So he started pushing bone really early, got really big, and then he kind of got a little tilt this way, and to keep him healthy and alive, we decided just to cut him off.
Well, he's alive and well. I mean, look at him right there. How old is he now?
He's 3 this year.
Wow. All right, the one thing about Iceman, there are partners on that deer all over the country, and because he's only 3 now, there are a lot of fawns, so all these partners have bred him, and what that's doing is proving this deer out. These people took that semen, put it in their best does, and these fawns are on the ground now, so I can't wait to see how they develop into yearlings next year. All right, so when we get back from the break, I'm gonna hook up with Jade Webster, and we're gonna show you some more big bucks at MVP Whitetails. Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you by
Record Rack Deer and Elk Feeds, the North American Deer Registry, New Dart, CC Bar Whitetails, and the North American Deer Farmers Association. Now for some great information on fencing from our friends at LE Fence.
Hey guys, it's Ron with LE Fence here. Right now we're getting ready to pound some pipe into the ground, start building our braces. This first pipe right here is going to be one of our gate hinge posts. So we're going to drive this pipe extra deep. We're going to go probably 6 feet in the ground just about. All we're doing is using a hydraulic king hitter attached to the back of a 3-point on our tractor. So right now he just leveled to make sure he's hitting it square. And all he's going to do is just gradually hammer this pipe into the ground until we hit resistance. So here in a minute it's going to keep going down pretty quick, and then it's going to hit the ground and just start going real slow. That's when we hit resistance and know when we have solid ground that the pipe's into.
I've been coming out here for years, and I've seen hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bucks that y'all have produced. And I mean, they're big, okay? All started with Major League. I remember the first time I saw Major League, it's like, whoa, no wonder everybody's talking about y'all. And so every time I go to a farm, I look at all these bucks and think I'm trying to pick my favorite buck, okay? That one right there is my favorite buck this year. Who is he?
That is Perfect Game.
Oh my gosh. Okay, tell everybody about Perfect Game. We filmed him last year.
We did.
Okay, but he's a 3-year-old this year, so tell everybody about the pedigree on him.
So Perfect Game is Blackjack, Triple Crown, Overnight Express, Shadow, Horsepower's mom.
Whew. Whew.
Super deep.
You look at that pedigree, and I mean, it does not get any better than that. And look at him. He's absolutely beautiful. I've seen him on Facebook and heard everybody talking about him, but seeing him in person, that's amazing. Now, that guy right there, that's a yearling, isn't it?
That's a yearling. His name is Upper Deck. We just named him.
Okay. Tell me a pedigree on him.
You're gonna be impressed with Sasha again. It's Blackjack, Triple Crown, G-Hammer, Tasha, which is Sasha on the bottom.
Whoa. And that deer right there, the cool thing about that deer is the new genetic breeding value. He's got it.
He does.
Okay, and he's also got the look. I mean, who would not love that look? Nice, clean, typical. What is he, 7 by?
I think he's gonna go 7 by 7.
Yeah, 7 by 7 as a yearling. Can you only imagine what he's gonna do next year? Okay, what about partners on him?
So Black Hawk Whitetails just partnered on that deer. Louisiana.
I'll be doggone. Are you gonna do any more partnership deals at all on him?
We've got a couple people we're talking to right now and some semen right partners. We're gonna probably make some moves with him.
Okay, talk a little bit more about partnerships. I think when you get into partnerships, it's gotta be a special relationship, okay? And tell everybody how you deal with these partnerships. I mean, it's not just you sell them semen and forget about it. Tell everybody about maybe the relationship that you have with these partners and how you try to help them grow the biggest, best deer possible.
We just have a really good relationship with our partners, and one thing that we've started doing here the last couple of years is with the genetic markers kind of taking hold and people believing in them, we went out and partnered on a lot of bucks, and I'll give you a quick list. We did Brain Freeze.
Yep.
We did Navigator.
Yep.
We did Top Gun with Reed Fawcett in Alabama, and we did Resistol.
Okay, we talk about genetic breeding values. I want to tell you something. When you found out, you were pleasantly surprised what your breeding values were, weren't you?
Oh yeah.
You get the information back from Nadar, and it's like, oh, it's some pretty good stuff. And
yes.
So you went out and partnered with deer that are gonna make that good stuff even better.
That's what we plan to do. We plan to breed those bucks to some of our best does and just keep building the brand, you know, the way the market's headed.
And I hear that you're not just sitting still in the whitetail industry, you're now kind of venturing off and doing something with exotics. So talk about that briefly.
I like to raise what I love to hunt.
Yep.
And I love axes. So we've been searching for 5 or 6 months, and we finally found 2 elite breeders that we would love to put our name on. One we named MVP. He's a true 36.5 by 36.5. And then the other one is Triple Play. He's a 34 by 34, and we are starting our herd with those 2 boys. I probably sorted through over 100 different photos from trappers trying to find me the right deer, and we finally found them.
You found the right deer, because I'll tell you what, we filmed them both, okay? And the video, when you look at them, it's like, whoa, I didn't know Axis deer got that big. I'm gonna tell you something. When people ask me, say, how well do you know Jade Webster? I said, real well. They say, what do you think of him? I said, same thing you think of him. They go, what do you mean? I said, you think the world of him, don't you? I said, yeah. And people in the deer industry love this guy, okay? He's a good family man. He's got a wonderful family. He's got a wonderful operation, but you got a wonderful heart. Seriously, I mean, I think that you care about this so much, and you care about your customers so much, that they know when they deal with you, they're gonna get taken care of. I mean, it's customer service.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, I don't care if they go to one of your restaurants or they come here, it's customer service all the time. And what I keep hearing over and over again, yep, you've got the best deer. I mean, all they gotta do is come out and take a look at them. But you got, without a doubt, the best customer service. I want to tell you thanks. And you also got the best kids, too.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And they're good because of you. So, folks, if y'all want more information on coming out to MVP Whitetails, they're located about an hour out of Dallas, okay, out of Kaufman, Texas. Give them a phone number and a website so they can get a hold of you, and if they want to come out here for a tour themselves.
My phone number is 214-683-9906, and our website's mvpwhitetails.com.
And right now it's the middle of August, so it's a really good time to come out here. The bucks are just about done growing out, and you're gonna be able to see some bucks, I promise you, you're not gonna forget anytime soon. I appreciate y'all watching, and we'll catch you next time.
For more videos on deer farming, check out the Deer Farming channel on YouTube and Facebook.
Okay, so you've got property and you're wanting to build. Maybe a barn dominium, maybe deer facilities, or maybe a badass lodge. Well, you've got to check out Rafter P Construction. Rafter P Construction is the leading design-build contractor across the state of Texas. Specializing in quality farm and ranch design-build projects, Rafter P Construction encourages their customers to be very hands-on, incorporating your input into every aspect of your project with their in-house design teams. The goal of Rafter P Construction is to be your builder for life. Rafter P Construction, they'll be with you every step of the way to build your dream project, all the while keeping quality and customer satisfaction at the forefront.